Hello there. I am about to stream some very interesting match very soon. It should be a match between Releasethecralkin and Bennyflips. So I'm interested how it will go. Yeah, so probably audio is going to be off. I guess music, if you can hear it, will be loud and my voice will be too low or the opposite or something. It will be just not ideal, so if somebody is in the chat and he will tell me, I will gladly fix it. But until then I just don't really know. We will see. I think it will take a while until either of these guys or girls join, because I cannot see any of them online at the moment, so maybe there will be no stream if they don't show up. Yeah, I wanted to kind of tune or tweak the audio setup, but it's hard to get feedback because I can only listen to it like on the desktop, but if I run it on the desktop on speakers, then it doesn't really sound well, and also in addition I will be getting some echo. So I will just, I guess, wait until someone tells me it's just not good and I need to redo everything. Yeah, these guys, are they like secretly playing already? No, they are not. Huh, what should I do? I guess I will just chill out. Oh, maybe there is a Hubu. I think that's Bennyflips. So only one player missing right now. I think the music will be too loud. let's try this setup. I really like streams of other people, for example Joey Tyke or Fomov or even Mr. Dare. He doesn't stream that often, maybe mainly tournament games, but when these guys stream they always have like nice intro screen with some music, and then they like fluently switch over to the stream, which is very cool. You need to do it that way sometimes, because it's much better to start the stream when it actually starts than start it like, for example, much earlier. Then the players show up, for example. I mean, I don't mind chilling out here. And I think, yeah, okay, Bennyflips show and Releasethecralkin is on mobile at the moment. So I think they will start to play. Yeah, I will probably post into the chat when the game actually starts. Let's see whose home set this will be. I'm quite interested in this game. Actually, I'm very interested in this game because this game will probably decide who will advance into higher tier. If Releasethecralkin is able to win both games, then she will get ahead of nobody knows with 12 points, and she would advance. But if she wins 0 or 1 game, then nobody knows will advance together with Day Killer or Day. And if Bennyflips wins both games, he will have 11 points, so he might also have a chance. It would be between nobody knows and Bennyflips then, and tiebreaker score would decide. So lots is in the stakes here, so I'm curious how it will pan out. Are they maybe? Oh, Releasethecralkin is already in the lobby, so I think the game might start quite soon. So if anyone is in the chat, please tell me if audio is alright or if I should tweak something, and if you hear the music. And stuff, because I don't have any feedback here. I say it all the time, but I really need to tweak the setup. But yeah, first I want to maybe maybe improve on another aspects of my streaming. Like being maybe more lively and stuff, and provide more interesting commentary. Perhaps this is more important than camera and other like tweaks around, but the tweaks are also nice. So hello said the music is low, but not bad. Yeah, it's some steampunk music, so it should be interesting. Maybe this volume, is it better? Maybe they will already be playing at the moment, so not yet. Oh, they're starting now, so that's cool. Releasethecralkin posted it into the chat, so people can join my stream. So yeah, as I said, lots is in stakes in this game. It will basically decide who will advance to the first tier. And it's between Bennyflips, Releasethecralkin, and nobody knows. Bennyflips needs to win both games if he wants to advance. Releasethecralkin needs to also win both games if she wants to advance. And nobody knows can just chill and watch, and maybe she will advance, we will see. So the game has started. I didn't actually find out the thing I wanted to know, which is whose home set this is. Okay, so let's see. So they are playing Saxony Mechanical versus, let's see, I will try to guess good match against Saxony Mechanical. First what comes to mind is like Nordic Industrial, but I would say that's maybe a little bit strong. Apart from that, Nordic Engineering may be a little bit weak, so what else comes to mind? To be honest, let's just guess, for example, Nordic Industrial, but it will be something else. Nordic Innovative, wow. Wow, it's overpowered, I think, for Saxony Mechanical. I had some matches, Saxony Agricultural versus Nordic Engineering in my sets, and I actually found out that Nordic Engineering is probably stronger than Saxony Agricultural, and I was thinking that maybe Saxony Mechanical is a good match for Nordic Engineering. It's surprising, but Nordic Engineering can really rock and roll if they find maybe good encounter and good start, how to start the game and how to set up the things. Yeah. So Nordic has found a good encounter. An encounter that allows him basically to immediately enlist, and I wonder if they probably want to enlist and take one worker and one metal. So one food. What? 2 oil? Okay, that surprised me. Why they didn't enlist? I think I would think that taking like one food to immediately enlist, and or they are still moving and they have upgraded enlist. Okay. Okay, I stand corrected here. So they can actually upgrade move and deploy, and then immediately be deploying with next produce. So this is pretty good choice, I think. Yeah, it was a good choice. Yeah, I missed a few first rounds where they were upgrading. What about Sax Mechanical? Sax Mechanical went for upgrading deploy to 1 metal only and upgrading move and bolster as top row actions. I usually like to play Saxony Mechanical more dynamically. I prefer not to do upgrades until I reach encounter and then maybe do 1 upgrade, usually move upgrade and then move to the next encounter. Because I think otherwise Saxony is pretty slow. Like this, they will get lots of power, but it might be difficult to cope with the speed of Nordic. But Nordic also didn't have like the fastest start possible, with just upgrading first, basically. So before moving to encounter, so I think it might end up being okay. But Saxony has a little bit of problem with development, because they usually, if they decide to do enlist star, getting enlist factory card is better for them than trying to produce on farm. That's just too slow usually. Sometimes they can get power star instead of enlist star, but with power star there is a problem that someone can always like spoil it, so it's not always not always the greatest idea to go for power star. But I guess Saxony doesn't mind if someone tries to spoil it, because it will be Nordic with low power, so maybe they can strike back, unless these combats will be the final combats of the game. Yeah, the mine is nice. The mine is nice, and I don't like that. Nordic left these workers here, but it doesn't matter because he can immediately produce a mech there, so that's probably a good choice. Saxony can attack there. I would consider doing it. And they even can attack there, because they won't get river walk fast enough. Yeah, they did not take river walk, yeah. I wonder what was the sequence. They probably got mine before they, or after they deployed the second mech. It would be quite strange though. So they got encounter, and then they deploy underpass. Maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there. They wanted to go for the factory. Okay. But yeah, I think maybe deploying river walk there was interesting. Because if they would knock the character back to the base, and mainly these 2 workers, that would be potentially quite huge, because if Nordic can finish their mech production, they are pretty safe. As far as finishing their like 6 stars goes. I mean, at least these stars that are from bottom row actions plus workers. Because Saxony really is, I think, behind now in development. Well, not so much. They have 3 workers only, that's probably the main difference. So that's basically 1 action, and enlist the second action, and then it depends if Saxony is going to continue building. If they do, then they are losing currently one action, and if they don't, they are losing two actions. And Nordic is about to be moving, so it's two actions or three actions. Mech or building for a pop? Yeah, I'd have another look. So that's pretty good one. Huh? It's actually very good. Because Saxony can maybe keep up with the speed of Nordic, like that. Huh, okay. It's interesting. So now I like that Releasethecralkin went for factory first before attacking Nordic, for example, on the mountain. But if they had got trash factory car, then I would probably criticize them for it. Alright. Yeah, Nordic is already spreading. Can he afford to be spreading? I guess he can, because he just needs basically 2 food to enlist, so he can produce 2 food on the farm and also finish his mechs. Yeah, I think Nordic should be probably in the lead due to slightly more territories maybe and slightly more coins, but it's just marginal. And territories are actually the same. Yeah, but Saxony is behind in development, so this is already... It already requires some interesting play, probably from Saxony, to catch up. Maybe they want to deny combats. If they can deny combats, then the game can last slightly longer. This was a good play, for sure. And can they afford option number 3? No, they can't. But food is... maybe nice, but I'm not sure about taking the food. Yeah, not sure. The question is what they will enlist. Maybe a bit more like ballsy or direct play would be to just get $2 and pop, and that's it, and continue basically pop for their next factory action. So that would be interesting play actually, because they could produce and then immediately build next building or build next mech and probably next building, and they would build next mech and then they would produce and they would be ready to spread. Not sure if it is fast enough, but it will be pretty fast. Yeah, Nord should hit them and make them spend to keep that food. Yeah, that's a good idea. What's the score? It's sometimes... Definitely I think Nordic should attack, especially if they are ready to enlist. Oh. Oh. Now this is maybe a little bit too risky. They are just leaving this worker unprotected and they didn't even attack. So basically if they produce, Saxony can take that food and they can prevent next enlist. I mean, it's not maybe that a big of a deal, but Oh, sorry, before I forgot that they are actually mechanical board that has produce with enlists, so maybe taking for food made some sense. But I would probably take popularity as the bonus to be able to continue with the buildings. Build bonus is pretty good, so I would really consider it. Okay. Yeah, they have monument, but they are going, if they are building, then they are building from the factory card, so they just need the pop and oh, monument will give them, oh, that's a good point, right, monument. Yeah, right, okay. So Chet and Morwales are obviously ahead of me. Yeah, you're right, so this is probably a good play. Yeah, okay. So Nordic is missing right now one enlist, objective and 2 combats. And Saxony is missing, let's say, and Nordic is attacking. Saxony is missing workers, and then maybe 2 objective, 2 combats, or maybe 1 objective can be switched to buildings. We'll see. Or with a combat. Yeah, if they had build local infra, that would be pretty nice. Interesting attack. Seems to be maybe a little bit, the Nordic is a little bit exposing himself there. But the character is pretty well protected from there. It can be attacked by factor action. This is going to... oh. Okay. So Nordic basically bluffed, and Saxony played everything they could. I mean, Nordic in theory could like trade to food or something, and then, or just trade, make cheaper enlists, and then end next turn, but that's probably too ambitious. Let's see the scores. Yeah, Nordic is far ahead. That was probably a good play by Nordic. I think he can afford this because Sax still hasn't finished worker production and doesn't have any spread, and basically Nordic just needs trade and then work on combats and objectives, and he managed to drain Saxony down significantly, so this was good play, I would say. What did Nordic get? Just this one. I'm not sure he will even use this factory card. Maybe he will, but maybe as the last move we will see. Yeah, Morwell suggested that they shoot 3v1. Saxony, they just 2v1 and took factory card. Not sure what was better. But I mean, they achieved what they wanted and they also got factory card. If they 3v1, maybe they wouldn't be too susceptible to another attack. So maybe there would be some advantage in that, but having an ability to move in like 2 rounds in a row is pretty big, because they can, for example, move, get combat, and then finish objective by factory move or something like that. I mean, always being able to combine these factory move with normal move is quite powerful in these endings, as I have found out from experience. And they got wood. So next turn they can actually finish their buildings. And if they would have like 2 objectives, then they would win, probably. But that's pretty unlikely. I mean, they can have like 3 tunnels. If they had 3 tunnels, 3 villages, they would be able to win. Let's see the score. So Nordic still doesn't have any fights. That's it's not ideal. It's suboptimal. Suddenly this game looks much better for Saxony than it looked a while ago for me. So what to do here? I mean, maybe finish workers and then try to spread. But if they are like static, Nordic can use it to just basically win. If they have like really good combat cards and Saxony has really bad combat cards. Yeah, Saxony, if they have 2 objectives, they win. They could win even now. But it doesn't look like it, because they are just 40. Oh, so 1 objective and oh, okay. They had 2 objectives, and I missed what was the first one or second one. So it was probably build local infrastructure, I would guess, as Morviles correctly guessed before. And this game goes to Saxony. So that was great play, I think, by Releasethecralkin. Yeah, it's true that giving them 2 combats is pretty dangerous, I agree. I think that it might have been a better call to try to 3v1 them at some hacks. Because it's good to always like suspect that Saxony can have 2 objectives, and that usually means you shouldn't be giving them easy combats. Yeah, I mean, they can have like King of the Hill or the local infra. Or 3 villages. They actually own 3 villages, so either of these. 3 villages would be pretty cool. Yeah, that was really nicely played, actually. And quite tricky for Nordic. What I didn't like about Nordic's plays, at some point they were just missing 1 foot to just move and enlist. But it wasn't very easy, because you are facing Saxony, which has like 13 power or 10, and you need to defeat them in the combats. So how to do that properly is always a question. Or foundation. How? It's one. That one is also possible. Yeah. Yeah, that didn't come to my mind. When I played with BB side, that was it was Saxony Agriculture versus Nordic Engineering. I played Saxony, and he really employed this interesting tactic when he attacked me right at the beginning on village tunnel, and he basically disrupted my worker production before I could get some more power with Saxony. So that was pretty interesting and very good play. That eventually probably won him the game. I was able to strike back with Nordic, but it was quite hard. And yeah, as I said earlier, I think that Nordic Engineering actually has an edge over Saxony Agricultural. And I was expecting that Nordic Innovative will be much stronger than Sax Mechanical, but somehow that game went really well for Sax. Yeah, Foundation would be hilarious, but also 3 villages would be pretty cute. Just 2 occupied by buildings and third one by character. Taking an encounter there before us, that would be nicely played. That was the case. Who knows? We can ask afterwards. I'm quite interested about this opening where you trade to oil first. I know, for example, that FOMOV sometimes does like move character and move 1 worker to oil tunnel, then produce to oil, and then trade 1 oil, 1 metal, and upgrade, I think, deploy and move, and then move character to the village. One worker, sorry, move 1 worker to the village, move character to the encounter, and the worker to the mountain. I like that may be better because Nordic would have had already an encounter in the next round. So what they did actually? Yeah, they upgraded deploy, but they cannot deploy now, so maybe they messed up. It just looks like maybe a little bit of a mess up here. Just I'm not sure about these openings that really avoid getting an encounter soon, because having that information what encounter you will get is pretty useful, because then you can just tweak your game around that a little bit, maybe trade for food, maybe trade for metal how you need it. If you wait that long, you are waiting that long for a huge economic boost, which an encounter always provides. And I think it's very useful to get that information as soon as possible. Sometimes it's a little bit better to maybe wait around, do some stuff, but not too long waiting, I think. Not waiting too long for it is usually, I think, a good choice. So Saxony went for the standard stuff, or standard. The same thing that Releasethecralkin played before. I always, when I tried this opening with upgrading twice to have cheap mechs, just for 1 metal, it usually ends badly. Like, I'm probably not very good at playing these games when you don't rush forward, and used to rushing forward if I can. And using like speed to get good opportunities for encounters or to get to factory first and stuff like that. But if both guys are just waiting like that, maybe it's not bad. I mean, it's around 6 and Nordic just has 1 mech and some workers. And I don't count upgrades. So this is like almost equal, except for workers. Yeah, they went for double upgrade opening. We will see how it goes. I wonder whose home set this is, because maybe it's a home set of Bennyflips. Because I think if I would ask Releasethecralkin if she was like satisfied with, with the opening, I'm not sure if she would like say that yeah, she was. Yeah, what did she get? I guess enlist there. She has upgraded produce, so she can upgrade on 3 tiles, which is pretty cool. Slight problem is that she will already have finished her workers before max, long before max. But maybe it's not the problem, because she probably wants to move to food and produce there lots of food, and then just move around and getting enlists. So what Sax is doing? Sax still in the base. They just got mine. And they have riverwalk this time. So this is potentially an interesting play to kick that worker and character home. They are doing it. And character. Okay. A character can just move to the lake, right? Because they probably already have Sea Orphe. And this was very good fight for Saxony. They will lose that worker, but Nordic can move to food and metal. So maybe it's not such a huge deal. But it may be slightly problematic for Nordic now, because they probably want to produce 6 food and 2 metal, and they can't, basically, because they have only 7 workers around here. So they will maybe get like 5 food and 2 metal. So at some point they will need to produce again, which is maybe not a problem, because they need 1 mech more anyway, so maybe it's not such a big deal. But definitely that combat for Saxony was good. Not spending almost anything and getting the cheap star. Sending worker home is good. Right now Nordic is in the lead, 25 to 18. Saxony got like 4 metal from encounter. It's a lot of metal. And this is bugged here. I'll probably rejoin. Because when this red tile shows when it shouldn't, or mechs show where they shouldn't, or something like that, then usually also the top bar stops being updated, and you, for example, see a wrong number of stars and stuff like that. Just the game how basically stops updating properly, and you are not getting any proper information. I wonder what happened before that Saxony got such a huge boost in the middle game that they were able to just finish the game, because now it looks again, I mean it looked like that in the previous game also, but now especially it looks like they are so far behind that they can possibly catch up. But the main reason why it looks like that is that they have just 2 workers, whereas Nordic has 8, which means they can start spreading much earlier. Yeah, maybe they have machine over muscle. I would really like if they would move 1 worker more to the village, and then would need only to produce this to finish workers, because they have enough metal to finish their mechs without producing any more metal. Wow, what a great encounter for Nord. This might be a game changer. It was just regular move. Huh. I'm not sure if this was a regular move. Shows like that on the bottom bar now, but they moved to the factory, then something happened. Move. Yeah, this was a mistake, this was factory move. There is also a bug in the bottom bar that it basically, like, at some moments overlays with bottom bars of other players, and it doesn't show the available action properly. But this was probably caused by the turn not being finished, so maybe it wasn't updated at the time for the current turn or the next one. But yeah, the bug is there too. So they did it, they moved the worker to the village, and it's a very good choice. But they didn't go for factory, I'm not sure about this. I would definitely prefer to go for factory to have greater mobility. And they just get pretty poor encounter there. So this might be tricky now. Would definitely prefer to go to factory. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I like what they did except going for the encounter there, because I think factory move would definitely come handy. They don't have underpass. Yeah, maybe that's the reason that they have divide and conquer. That's a good point. Yeah, otherwise, like what they did, that they put worker to the village and they will be able to finish worker star next turn. It depends. Oh, they couldn't. Right. Yeah, Morvale always has good points that I just completely miss. Interesting. I mean, if Saxony has two objectives, they basically want worker star, mech star, to combat two objectives. So, supposing they have two objectives, but unless Nordic hides here, I would definitely try to attack. Saxon is playing as if they have two objectives. I'm not sure how else would game look like if they didn't have, but maybe yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, if they would like maybe went for enlists earlier, or maybe try to produce some wood. Yeah. So they didn't attack the character there, and I think maybe there was a little bit of a missed opportunity. Because if Nordic, that would be the second combat that they just critically need, because they won't be able to get any other star than basically combat, max workers and two objectives if they have them. So Nordic can now basically coordinate, maybe hide. I think attack there was probably a good idea. Nordic has to enlist still, so it's not like the game would be ending immediately for Saxony to need to somehow avoid the combats or something like that. I mean, they can get lots of spread now, which is a positive thing, but Nordic definitely has an edge on coins, huge edge on coins, 12 coins more. Saxony can get combat. I'm still not seeing it. sure, can they? Or could they? In 2 turns. Yeah, okay. Maybe, yeah. But I mean, Nordic can coordinate here, like for example, factory move and get 3 mechs on this farm territory and stuff like that. So I think it was rather a mistake that they didn't attack the character. I mean, it's always a hard call, but on their place I would be just kind of afraid that if I don't attack at the right moment, that moment can never happen again, like for some good attack, like the opportunity can be just gone. That's usually the case in sight. When you just miss some good opportunity, it usually leads to losing the game. But sometimes, of course, it's hard to like correctly judge what is the good opportunity. Sometimes you can be kind of trapped into thinking something is good opportunity, for example for combat, but in the end it may be more advantageous for the opponent. So Saxony got good spread, and they now have factory card. They didn't claim the objective, so they didn't have divide and conquer. In that case, I definitely think they should go for factory immediately instead of taking that encounter. Yeah, they didn't have underpass, so they should have deployed underpass first. I mean, again, Saxony caught up on pace, and now they are spread. They have 4 mechs, factory, and interesting choice. I'm not sure what were the other choices. I don't think they have any reasonable like chance to get to tier 2, but maybe I'm wrong. Because Nordic will just miss basically combats after this. Combats are not the objective. Nordic has lots of random resources here. I mean, it looks like stockpile, but they are going to enlist now, right? So, but they still have 10 resources. So if they a stockpile, that would be pretty cool. But they still need some metal there, right? You can trade metal and then move and... Not sure. Yeah, healthy lead for Nordic. Saxony can combat the farm, right? Yeah. They are going for spread. I mean... Yeah. I'm not sure what to suggest really for Saxony, because if they would attack that farm, they would probably be able to do that with 1 mech only, right? So they would be pretty exposed afterwards for some easy combats. on the territory which is not so easily achievable by multiple units to counter-strike and so on. So it's hard to suggest the play for Saxony here, because if they have such a huge coin deficit, they probably want to go for spread. They cannot end the game quickly now, because this is not possible to get 2 combats, or the second combat. I mean, yes, they could have got it on the farm, but I think that might have been like advantageous for Nordic more than for Saxony. So yeah, they are going for spread to counter that coin deficit, but for that they really need to get tier 2, and they are getting 2 pop here. So maybe they will reach tier 2 actually. Huh, okay. Sax is collecting metal, yeah, they have 3 metal. They can get Power Star, and they can get tier 2 unless Nordic ends the game quickly. So this was actually a very interesting play for Bennyflips, and I didn't actually think this is like valid at all. But he proved me wrong, I think. The coin deficit is now 11 coins. So Saxony got Power Star, and they might be able to, for example, finish next turn if they have 2 objectives. So now it's 14 points. Norris at 5 upgrades. Nordic is playing like they don't have any good objective. But what could be that bad? Like permanent foothold and beloved pacifist, for example. Because they almost had stockpile. They almost had monopolize their food. So probably they would want to reach that if they had it. Nordic can go to tier 2. I'm not sure how. What else can you tell me how? I mean, they could maybe like get to pop, but yeah. Right. I mean, that would have been an interesting choice, because if Saxony can now get tier 2 and get 2 objectives, it's probably game over. But can they do that? That's the question. Nordic already has lots of power as well, and they can attack on on the tunnel, for example, on the mines. They might not be able to win 2 combats, but they don't need to win 2 combats if they have an objective. So yeah, we will see. If they have an objective and Saxony can't end this turn, then it's likely win for Nordic. And otherwise probably win for Saxony if they have. Other option is that Nordic doesn't have an objective. In that case it will be difficult for him to get 2 combats now. Oh, score is pretty equal. I mean, Releasethecralkin is fighting for getting to tier 1 with this. If they are able to win, they advance to tier 1. So it's pretty important game for them. Man, they needed to have like really trashed objectives if they cannot claim one of them. Like really permanent food hall and something even more crazier. Because they decided to go for an upgrade star and they don't look like they are going to attack just 1 tile now. So it's interesting. Yeah, this is nice play. This is nice play because I don't think that Saxony can easily defeat Nordic there, and even if they can, they will lose tier 2 and that might be game over if Nordic is able to subsequently attack them. This was probably a huge swing. Well, still reachable for Bennyflips, 9 points difference. This is a tricky situation. I'm thinking what to play as Saxony here. It really depends on their objectives too. If they want to spread, they probably want to occupy this building territory. When Nordic gets tier 2, it's probably going to be very hard. But Nordic is not that close to it now, so... Okay. Be cool if that would be accompanied by attack on this farm, but then they would lose tier 2, so that's not possible. So then this is just about spread, and that means Nordic... Oh, they're doing that. How they can afford it? They want to get the popularity back next turn, but they are going to be suicidable now. but Nordic only can get 1 star because they only have factory move. So this is a very interesting play. They are fighting really well. Yeah. What? OMG. The ultimate bluff. And Nordic can also have the objective, but the way they played, I suspect they might not have it. Because they already had some opportunities to just claim the objective and get a combat, but they didn't do it. She fight there. This was too cheap. These bills are always crazy. When it worked out. Yeah, I think Saxony didn't really expect to win that fight, or I don't know. Like, they needed to win that fight, right? Otherwise they would be just screwed. And they just put 2, like, what what the hell? It was just like ultimately ballsy move, I think. But it was too much of a risk also. Like, Nordic just could have put like 3 or something and game over for Sax. I mean, Sax doesn't even need like 3 cards now. Yeah, that was maybe too risky, but it worked out, so what can I know? Maybe it was the ultimate psychology strategy that now Nordic is so shaken by that they don't know what to play and stuff, so they might, for example, make a mistake. Okay. That's Nordic needs to win. Oh, that was a suicide. What? Yeah, right. They did have enough points for that. They did. So now Saxony can do their ultimate plan. Get back the tier 2 and maybe try to defeat Nordic and win. Yeah, Sax can now get back tier 2, which they did, and they now can attack Nordic and basically win. So if this works out for them, if they have a good card, that was extremely good. That was just insanely good play. I don't like that they just moved this, but oh, they didn't really have a choice. They needed to lose the territory, but it's still a win. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was very well played. Is it enough? It is. Yeah, it was just next level. But they are split on points now. So it means that Releasethecralkin is not advancing and Bennyflips also is not advancing, and nobody knows is advancing, if I read it correctly in the score sheet. Yeah, long game and 21 rounds, and very interesting one. And it was really good play by both, but especially Saxony, because that plan with kind of baiting Nordic here into suiciding and then attacking them back, that worked perfectly. Nordic didn't have to do that, that bluff was definitely crazy on the farm, that they just put 2 sacks. So these things were a little bit iffy, I would say, but like overall gameplay was just amazingly good. Like the plan was good and it worked out, and I'm really it was a great watch. So congrats to Bennyflips in this game, and I think congrats to Nobody Knows. If I am not mistaken, they are advancing to tier 1 if they want to take it, I guess. And thanks for watching also. I appreciate all the comments in the chat that corrected me at some points, because it's just having more whales in chat is always super useful, because he notices so much stuff. So thanks a lot for that, and see you. It was fun.